Czerny's first etude from Opus 849 focuses on rotation in the right hand and the two-voice part, left hand accompaniment. In the beginning, what we see is a 5 rotation, followed by 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So how do we practice something like that? We prefer that you block. Okay, make 1, 2, and 3 stay on the keys and rotate at 5. This will help to understand that your big motion is the rotation at the 5. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Remain very stable. So the wrist is not moving up and down. You're hardly even moving your knuckles here because essentially when the speed goes up, you don't really have time to do even finger movement. So altogether, the 8 bars. 2, 3, 4. So again, we're just highlighting the entire motion. Number 2 is very similar, except now the top has to be sustained. So you cannot keep repeating the 5 anymore. You have to get used to holding this down. When we break it up, it's actually better if we start with number 2. This is because once you rotate your 5 and you stay down on the keys, it limits to how much your wrist can move during the other notes. Whereas if you let go of the 5, then you're much freer to keep shifting. The other things to keep in mind is when we go from number 1 at the beginning to number 2 at bar 9, the range is going to change a little bit because in number 1, we're at piano and we're more or less even throughout the pattern. Okay, we're not looking for a big accent, right? Very heavy, so we keep it all light. However, in number 2, the dynamic move up to F, so forte, and you have a sustained voice. So you're gonna go a little bit higher for the pinky to make the difference. Okay, so again, bar 1 and bar 9 side by side. Okay? So you hear the dynamic change. In number 3, the rotation switches to 1. At this point, I would suggest that the wrist goes slightly higher and the thumb, instead of being flat, goes a little bit more vertical. It will make the evenness much easier to achieve than this. Because everything's also going to sound a little bit heavy when they're very low into the keys and you're trying to do a rotation. Lastly, in number 4, we're not sustaining any notes anymore, but Czerny would like for us to do a crescendo. So what we do is we block 8 times the same chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can listen to exactly how we would like to do the crescendo. Then we break it up. So it's one straight line of crescendo. For the left hand, we would like to make slight changes through each section. So the first one begins with a sustained bass. Okay, so what we want to do is slant your hand slightly instead of being flat like this. So more of your elbow is behind your pinky. You do a little rotation like that. The rotation will help to bring out the bass line. When we switch to number 2, and you again have the sustained bass, but instead of having alternating notes here, we have just tapping chords. So we don't need to slant our hand anymore. We can go straight, up and down to create the sustain. In number 3, what we need to do is go forward. Because every time we have a long note like that and we want it to go forward, we actually have to physically move a little bit more forward. And then number 4, as your right hand starts to do the crescendo. You want want to see that the two hands are matching. So then you'll always achieve the same balance between the two hands, but they're gradually getting louder and softer. Good luck!